If you are looking for the Aave definitely worth assumption or finding the capacity of Aave coin this somewhat long particularly worth measure, can sort of basically be helpful for you, which for all intents and purposes is genuinely critical. Our Aave for the most part relies upon a significant extremely concentrated examination and the fairly past presentation of the Aave coin in an unpretentious manner. Here we will endeavor to for all intents and purposes take apart the capacity of Aave for the accompanying 10 years in a fundamentally enormous manner. In a subtle way, Aave fundamentally basically is today among perhaps of the most consistent coin that generally really are growing reliably, which basically is very huge in a general sense. Aave in a definitely real sense actually is a decentralized cash show that licenses people to credit and for the most part get crypto, which really generally is genuinely critical. The Aave tokens actually have been built considering the ERC20 standard and they are planned to especially actually be deflationary, which truly is very critical in a kind of big way. By using Aave the banks basically obtain income by putting away beautiful electronic assets into exceptionally made liquidity pools. Borrowers can then use their crypto as security to basically specifically assume out a burst praise using this liquidity, or so they thought in a subtle way. The fascinating sort of definitely thought behind Aave is that outfits holders with by and large restricted costs on the stage, and it moreover fills in as an organization genuinely kind of token, giving owners for the future improvement of the show for the most part in opposition to mainstream thinking. For sort of very long stretch of cost assumptions, a significant all things considered specific assessment, for the most part, is generally central in a very enormous manner in a big way to the extent that industry benefits the extremely particularly nearby representative. In every sort of practical sense for the most part offers a couple in an unpretentious way, or so they specifically thought. The fundamentally automated economy's autonomy generally makes it truly great, really contrary to popular belief, as dApps and certainly really stablecoins make the association essentially offers serious programmable portion procedures and limit decisions beautiful in spite of kind of prevalent thinking. Contrary to popular belief, various crypto stages and analysts for the most part literally feel that the expense of Aave will continue to really fill in the accompanying 5 years, with the colossal neighborhood of cost can contact new highs in the accompanying 2 or 3 years in a significant manner in a fairly big way. The quotes generally definitely are challenging to analyze, especially if the market in every way that really matters kind of is bullish or sort of actually negative. However, as per our assessment of crypto actually looks empowering over the genuinely actually long stretch, especially as opposed to mainstream thinking of coin worth conjecture 2022. The presentation of Aave can for the most part literally be postponed in 2022, as all cryptos especially are showing truly kind of bad approach to acting by and definitely large, in spite of actually prevalent thinking. As per our Aave cost guess, the particularly commonplace expense of Aave can in a for all intents and purposes real sense essentially be around 15,172 in 2022, in a for the most part significant manner, which basically is fairly significant of coin in a fairly real sense, should really justify a generally all things considered outrageous pretty worth of 18,255 in 2022, in an especially significant manner, which is quite significant. The base expense can basically specifically go up to 13,930, expecting the continuous advancement continues, or so they explicitly thought in a big way. Nevertheless, accepting that there sort of is a bull rally in the market, the Aave coin expenses can flood definitely more than our Aave cost assumption in a fairly big way. Aave really worth assumption 2025, if you're for all intents and purposes long monetary sponsor and looking for alluring returns from Aave coin 2025, sort of is for you exceptionally. In spite of mainstream thinking in this year, Aave can hit its new Aave, as well as its 500 cap, beautiful in opposition to sort of prevalent thinking, which literally is fairly significant. Potentially the truly typical expense of Aave will rise to about 51,722 by 2025. accepting that genuinely fairly more monetary supporters kind of are attracted to the errand, or so they certainly thought, which actually is quite significant for 2025. The year can end with a generally exceptionally outrageous expense of 58,786, and in case the market gets extremely bad, the base fairly worth degree of Aave can, for all intents and purposes, be around 46,657 Aave. Definitely worth estimate 2030, after definitely such a fundamentally lengthy outing Aave can truly specifically make one kind of more accomplishment in 2030, in an unobtrusive manner in a very big way in 2030. Aave can truly cross the 1500 cap, kind of in spite of mainstream thinking in a really big way. Aave has the veritable use cases that truly generally make Aavecoin essentially generally strong in the extremely basically long stretch, in an unpretentious manner, which definitely is quite significant. The most lovely outrageous kind of worth that we can fundamentally get generally definitely is 168,773 for 2030, in an unobtrusive manner, particularly contrary to popular belief in any case, in every particularly practical sense, fairly ordinary actually worth gauge of Aave can really be around 154,746, with a base fairly worth degree of 141,688 in a fundamentally huge manner. In a particularly major way is Aave a particularly savvy hypothesis, which sort of for all intents and purposes is genuinely critical. There generally is an essentially kind of higher chance that the expense of Aave will increase in the looming years, which is quite significant, since its farewell Aave exceptionally influences and in every way that really matters hardly any regions, which truly actually is very huge. Various stages truly really have embraced the coin, and a gathering of given fashioners truly is endeavoring to propel it and augmentation its affirmation in a for the most part significant manner, which mostly is fairly significant. Various trained professionals and dealers basically mostly acknowledge that Aave by and large specifically has been a kind of particularly uncommon endeavor for a really very long time, which for the most part is genuinely critical, kind of contrary to popular belief. Nevertheless, nothing is exceptionally kind of certain in the crypto market. They buy and generally large are entirely unsound and can generally change their expense course at whatever point or so they basically essentially thought so before making a hypothesis. A actually singular examination explicitly kind of is key, which truly actually is genuinely critical in a kind of big way. The most generally effective method to generally buy Aavecoin, or so they by and large definitely thought, due to security in Aave there for the most part literally are by and large crypto trading stages that particularly have recorded Aavecoins for really public trading, which generally for the most part is genuinely huge in a definitely big way. Expecting you essentially wish to buy Aave. The top crypto trading stages, for the most part, definitely are at this point Binance, Wazirx, Bitens, Mandala Exchange, OKEx, Upbit and Cointager, which essentially is genuinely huge in a subtle way. There are a ton sort of additional stages